Episode number 208.
It really is simply more a matter of where you can acquire the talent. In the U.S., we're actually not producing enough engineers domestically. There's just simply not enough folks going into those careers domestically. And
welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I'm pumped up today. I'm fired up. It's coming up. We are in a new year, but I'm most pumped up today because after this call, you might actually realize software is maybe a solution for your startup or business to help grow and get more clients, get more customers, or just help your business become better. And the folks that can do that are my man, like our featured guest, Ian Reynolds. Ian, are you ready to be real?
Oh, absolutely. It's great to be here.
My man Ian is ready. He is a partner at Zibtek. And what Zibtek does is they help folks build a custom development software. So that helps all different types of businesses, and we can get into the different types of businesses. But this company is legit. I was just looking at their website, folks. They're top rated on Clutch. I'm new to Clutch, but I'm finding out that this is all about the customers giving you the ratings, and their top web developer, top Node.js, top software developer. And I'm sure what they really do is they help businesses drive more revenue, drive more sales into their business, maybe also reducing some of their costs and some of their expenses because they run more efficiently. And folks, transform their business, folks, because we are in 2020. Some of your businesses, folks, need to be transformed and need to take that investment and really scale with a team that can do it for you and not think you're going to build this thing on your own or hire a developer. I'm sure that there's so many different horror stories about that, Ian, as you probably have seen or heard. But pleasure to have you on the show today, Ian. How's your day going today first?
It's going great. It's a good start of the year. Weather's been perfect, blue skies. So
nice.
Hope it stays like this for a good while.
And whereabouts are you guys in the world?
So we're in Salt Lake City. We have folks all over,
sure.
both globally and in the U.S., but our headquarters is in Salt Lake City.
Wow. So then tell me what made you want to start this business when you were getting going. Tell us a little bit about the journey and kind of what took you through this.
Well, great question. So the business has been in business for 10 years.
Okay.
And I actually acquired 50% of the business from my now business partner almost 2.5 years ago.
Gotcha.
And so rather than start something new, he convinced me to, hey, no, come help build what he's already built over the prior 8 years.
Gotcha.
So I've been with Zibtek for 2.5 years, and it's been wonderful. And we've grown about 20-30% per year. So it's been pretty excellent.
And I'm sure your jobs are a lot bigger too, right? I mean, it's not just like a one-off thing. You guys are building custom development software for most of your customers. I mean, there's probably a lot of larger projects there.
That's right. We have 3 client groups, right? So we have startups, that's folks with an idea, and then also VC backed,
right,
where they don't necessarily, they have sort of a concept. They don't necessarily have a technical element that they have in house, and so they come out to solve that problem. We have mid-sized businesses who don't necessarily make software themselves or don't have a large development team and really need something that solves their unique business challenge, and they don't necessarily have the competency or timescale within that team to do it in-house. And then we do have a couple of enterprise clients. Google and Adobe are clients of ours. We've been building and maintaining products for them where we are the development team for that product and development and product owners, et cetera. So really get the opportunity to sort of see the gambit. And I would say that because we still serve some of these startup groups, the ability for our team to stay bleeding edge and stay really kind of current with market trends and where things are going, was really facilitated by helping these small businesses or startup businesses in addition to our enterprise clients.
So getting the pulse of their business, it helps you even a lot more. And I did see on your website too, you guys have a software development cost estimator. So it kind of gives people the idea of what this project might cost all on their own.
Yeah, you bet. So you go through that, give it a couple pieces of criteria, and then it really kind of puts you in a couple categories and help you understand, here's something that's realistic. Now, every single piece of software we build as our firm is structured is unique, right? It's the code we're building, especially for that customer, handing over their intellectual property, and then kind of working ourselves out of a job, so to speak, and then moving on to the next job. So, really, truly, we'd have to sort of talk with a person, take that estimator information, and have a conversation with them to really understand what it is that their business needs. Maybe it's more simple than what the tool can dictate, but certainly helps you get close and get an understanding.
Do you find that a lot of people are using that?
We do. I wouldn't say 100% of the web traffic is using it, but a good percentage is using that.
That's awesome.
Other general information on our site that talks about the different types of software development across the industries that we serve.
I think that's really cool too, because it gives them an idea of kind of what the cost might be around it too, because that probably helps you eliminate people that are going to waste your time.
Yeah,
reaching out. Because I do see you guys have a free consultation, so I'm sure you don't want people on the phone that are not going to convert into something at some point, right? So I'm sure that cost estimator kind of maybe eliminates or just gives people a better project idea about what this is going to take. I think that's
it gives people really like a helpful idea, right? Some people know coming into those things, especially those mid and enterprise businesses, this is a significant engineering effort with reasonable expectations about cost. Or some of these smaller people, people call us and say, "Hey, I want to build Uber. What is that going to cost?" And say, well, they're a $1 billion company and
right.
500. And so quite a lot, and
they're burning hundreds of millions of dollars every month, folks.
Right, correct.
I'm an investor too, so I'm not talking ish exactly, but I'm kind of like, okay, guys, let's get profitable. Let's figure this thing out. But it's fascinating because there are so many different types of people that are venture backed or getting venture capital and are wanting to build this. And I've heard more and more there's a trend of not having necessarily the coding background as far as, the programmers and things like that have been kind of the people that have always really built these things, really, I guess you could say, because maybe companies like yours didn't exist, or maybe they didn't have the venture capital that was out there today, but it's fascinating, man. I'm shout out to you, but I also have a question is what gave you the blessing or ability to then acquire into this business? Did you have a previous business before this that exited or had some cash that was able to even get into the partnership?
Yeah, great question. So I had previously worked in consulting for almost 10 years, and really had the opportunity to serve in a lot of client capacities that covered things from kind of like being in the front line, being in the trenches, to strategy, operations, finance, these sorts of things. And so from saving from the capital from that, sort of stashing away appropriately.
Nice.
And really kind of facilitated that transaction.
That's awesome, man. Shout out to you, because you seem like you're a younger gentleman too.
That's correct. Yeah. So on the younger side, so it gives me a little more run rate to help grow the company and do well. So it's definitely helpful.
And you're an investor.
That's correct. Yeah. So invest in a couple small businesses, both not necessarily startup. They've got to be cash flow positive, stable. Landed businesses, and then of course in the market. So
stock market, yep.
yeah, definitely have the opportunity to do both. And taking that perspective, I'm able to help bring kind of these disparate elements together for our clients, especially in the healthcare and finance space, which is kind of where we're increasingly focused, and helping build solutions for them that are sometimes involving financial aspects, accounting aspects.
Interesting. So, and blockchain, I see here on your website too.
Blockchain. We've done a lot of that. I think really kind of after crypto blew up.
Right.
It was like Bitcoin was at 16K,
20K. Yeah.
Yeah, and then down to nothing. That work has somewhat petered, but it's still interesting. And actually, the technology is getting adopted in the marketplace. We're still building a couple applications that are making use of public ledger systems where can see transactions. They have a public record. There's a backup of that. And in some cases where it's financially related, the partners that are invested in that company get additional visibility into, how that capital is getting used. So still seeing some of the technology used, not quite in the way that, everybody was launching their ICO.
Right. That was all kind of bullshit. Let's just be real, folks. I've been an investor in crypto since 2015, as well as other things. And that's just all bullshit. I mean, it was all that was like people that were just professional scam artists, for the most part. A lot of those people were like literally just taking your money and like just running with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, give us your Bitcoin, and then we're going to promise this thing, and then we're going to give you these coins that we can't guarantee anything on. But I think the blockchain actual aspect is interesting. It is interesting. It's fascinating to think like, maybe the government's like ledger will be out there one day, and we could all just check in on like what the government's spending. I think that should be like almost a first before we do anything else. But I think around security, obviously Facebook's moving into trying to get something going with their crypto. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's fascinating. And also I'm sure you guys have just a ton of new things happening in your industry too. So you have to constantly stay on edge, is like the new software, the new development, the new process, the new thing to build on, right?
Correct. Yeah. The software development's kind of funny. You don't necessarily want to always be building in the bleeding edge thing, because you never know if a trend is going to, kind of like peter out or, kind of like change, and then you've kind of built something that's old. So you want to use technologies, and we take the philosophy of like kind of like build a Toyota, right? You can take to anybody, they can change the oil. You don't need to go to like a Mercedes mechanic where they've got the special screw to get the oil filter off. You want to use something that isn't going to go away overnight,
right?
And has a lot of people supporting in the community, generally speaking. Now, in some cases, when you're building something new, you really do have to kind of look out over the cliff, so to speak, and see what's coming. But we try to make use of technologies that are very stable, very supported, widely adopted, and we do pay attention to the trends, right? So, for example, Node.js and Python are server-side programming languages that are really kind of dominating these web and desktop application programs that are getting built. And as a result, it makes a lot of sense to build the software in kind of those landed stable technologies, as opposed to something older like Ruby or one of the other things, which has adoption, has community, but is somewhat declining, right? PHP is another technology that's somewhat declining. So it makes a lot of sense to write in things that are somewhat newer, but also have wider adoption.
Is there a variety of different requests that you get on a daily, weekly, monthly basis as far as like what kind of things are people trying to build? What things are they trying to do? Are they trying to get more sales? A lot of them, or are they trying to make their businesses more efficient?
I think that's a great question. So the biggest thing we build custom software, right? Which really kind of means we do everything,
right?
Which is its own unique challenge. The most people we see are folks who they have a business, maybe an existing business or a small business or a mid-sized business, and they recognize that there's something particular that they can solve if they had a piece of software that just did a couple of things for them, right?
Gotcha.
Maybe there's some things that exist on the marketplace already. Like, Salesforce already exists, but if my Salesforce was integrated with XYZ tool and it shared data, then I would solve this problem in my business. And we have a lot of folks who come to us and they say, look, this just doesn't exist on the marketplace, or these tools exist on the marketplace, but there's no combination of these tools that would solve my particular business problem. So we help our customers basically like figure out what all those available solutions are, figure out if A, can they be combined, B, is there some near-term solution where we can just acquire one of those tools and you can sort of integrate it with your business for you, or maybe you weren't aware of this other type of tool.
Right.
And of course, C, we're looking at building something custom that solves that unique problem. And as a business, Zibtek is uniquely focused on solving our client's core business problem, as opposed to, hey, we're not gonna try to build you a Maserati. We really just kind of want to solve this problem and see if it solves the problem in your business. Because if it does, then you're going to come back and say, hey, here's three other problems that we can solve, and do that efficiently.
So you look at the where's going to help them the most, like, most bang for their buck, if you want to call it that.
100%. And
that's the only way to do it, right? I mean, I think that there's so many different people that are just trying to take the money, and they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit whether the thing works or not.
Yeah, we have people come to us with wonderful ideas. I mean, really, really excellent ideas. But we often find ourselves in a position where we're saying, well, yeah, this is really, it is a cool idea. It's really excellent. We've never heard of this before. However, we often find ourselves in a position where we're pushing back and saying, okay, focus on the core thing. What is the one metric that's really going to kind of move the needle for you and your business? Focus on that first. Build that. Yes, you have this grand plan for this other stuff, but focus on this one thing first, and let's see if that solves that problem first. And taking that approach, especially with software development, helps folks avoid otherwise spending way too much money, but then also helps them really kind of hone in on kind of the core item for their business, and ultimately makes our projects much more successful.
I was thinking it probably helps you guys build a lot of trust with them in a way, just from the get go by saying that.
Right. Sometimes though, people don't want to be told no, and they want
yes, right. Okay, give me your $5 million check, and we'll start working. I mean, if you don't want it, if you're really insistent, I'm sure you guys will be building it for them. But I mean, at least that you take that into consideration. I think is so important that you give them that out to say, hey, we're just going to build this one thing first, and then obviously, like you said, they're happy with that one thing. They're going to want the Maserati down the road.
Correct. Yeah, and oftentimes folks do get the Maserati, right? They solve one or two problems in their business, and it lets them think about how software, which if you kind of take the five steps back, really is a mechanism for automating certain tasks in your business.
Oh, yeah, right.
It lets them think about their business in a different way,
right?
And therefore think about problems that are more important that can be solved with technology. And that's really kind of the role we play for our clients.
I see that a trend in happening, right? Where it's just like software is going to be taking over the world at some point. I mean, it's like already taking over now, but it's like it's on the way for more. So I see you guys in a pipeline of business. Do you guys have clients all over different primarily U.S.? You said variety of different offices or other areas throughout the globe that you guys are finding resonance with the customers?
Yeah, I'd say the vast majority of our clients, 90% of them, are here in the U.S.
Yep.
We have folks globally, Europe, UK. We've done folks in the UAE, et cetera. But primarily folks in the United States, and that's how we're structured. And then our engineering team is spread globally. We have lots of people in the United States, but then we also have 2 offices overseas in India. We dabbled in Europe for a little bit, but ultimately decided that between the U.S. and India, and we have some staff in the Philippines, having kind of that broad base has let us acquire talent that is really exceptionally globally. And so we continue to expand, but I think at least in the near term, we're continuing to focus on the U.S.
U.S. Oh yeah, there's a pipeline, but like I think it's so interesting that like a business like yours is you could have developers all over, right? Like it's amazing. That's the coolest part about the internet.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of think about software, like it either works or it doesn't, right? So where you get that code, kind of differs pretty significantly. And actually, lots of the software that's developed for the United States is actually developed globally, right? So if you look at Microsoft, you look at Google, you look at all of these teams, they have distributed teams everywhere,
right?
And it really is simply more a matter of where you can acquire the talent. In the U.S., we're actually not producing enough engineers domestically. We're doing our best. Like we have 2 interns that actually joined me today, and I'm training them up. But there's just simply not enough folks going into those careers domestically, and so we get the best talent. We're very much elitists about hiring wherever we can find it. Right.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm sure anyone that's talented in that space is getting gobbled up by Amazon and Facebook and Google and Apple, and
correct.
They could probably pay them gajillions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like they come to them and say, "Hey, we're going to give you $500,000. We're going to give you this and this."
Yeah, I mean, Google's stated strategy is really just going to hire the smartest people you can find. And
right. So, yeah. They got the money. They got the bank load. It's like they got
companies that adapt that philosophy. But we for the folks that we bring in, it's all very experiential learning. We're
you're training them. You're training them. You're on your Zibtek way.
Correct. Yeah, and we before we make a client resource available or a resource available, they're typically spending 6 to 9 months working on internal projects.
Oh wow!
We sort of say someone is holding my hands up and doing air quotes, Zibtek certified,
right?
And serve a client project and be client facing, because we want to make sure that the folks that we're bringing in are really capable and up to the standards that would be necessary to develop the software for our clients. And then we pair folks with senior engineers, 8 to 15 years experience.
Got you. So that's how you do it. You pair them up. You pair a young with an older OG in the game.
Correct. Right. And so there's a sharing of information. Folks are coming up to speed much more quickly. And because we're having them work on internal projects, they've actually done something material before they've really kind of reached a client. And we treat it just like we would treat a client project. They have deliverables, they have due dates.
That's awesome.
There's project management.
Do you do anything? Do you do anything with your internal projects as far as the software they're building, or like is it just kind of like not dummy software, but is it something you could resell to someone? Is it something you can use as well?
That's a great question. So we actually, yes, we have a piece of software called on-course sales automation software. And so if you Googled on-course sales automation, hopefully we're the first result, depending on how my marketing guys are doing. And it's a sales automation CRM that allows folks to automate drip campaigns, automate sequences, keep track of your sort of normal contacts that you're selling. You can do SMS from the application, from the CRM. You can do calling from the CRM. And you can track all of that communication data in one place. So it sort of eliminates a dialer paying for separate drip campaign software, and then combines those into our CRM. And we're constantly expanding that. We launched actually that in September of last year. And so we have a large number of clients already, and that continues to grow. And actually, we've sort of stood up a division for just on-course.
That's
and we're
awesome.
going to continue to expand that product because it's doing quite well. So, and actually, that's the first product we've launched in 10 years.
That's awesome.
Primarily market focused, and this has let us really kind of both showcase something for our clients. Say, look, we've built this. We're supporting this product.
Right.
We understand your team, but then also, it's a different part of our business.
It's his own pipeline of revenue. You got my money, and we've had one of we've had your man, vice president of sales on Encore. Jesse. We had Jesse on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool
Jesse's a hoot. He's hilarious.
He is a hoot, man. He is a hoot. I love his title says is the laziest salesman in America. I know he's grinding though, but he's talking about how the software helps him make it that much easier to generate obviously leads. And today, obviously, if you have a business where you're in sales, you need things like that, And
100%. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you have the software that internally the team's kind of hacking and making better and making it, and then the other team obviously selling it. Man, you guys out in Salt Lake, man. I don't know what's going on with that. What you guys are drinking out there? I know you guys don't drink alcohol, but you're drinking some good water or something's going on in the vibes out there, man. You guys got some cool businesses coming out of Salt Lake City. It's been forever. You guys have been doing this for at least 10 years. I've been seeing some crazy, awesome companies coming out of Salt Lake.
Yeah, a lot of folks coming over from sort of California areas.
Right.
A lot of really kind of still growing the technology scene here. And it's very much a kind of outdoorsy town. Like folks are always out, doing the mountain biking,
right,
skiing, snowboarding, etc.
So it goes along with your lifestyle. If you like the outdoor lifestyle, it's a perfect fit, right?
Yeah, 100%. And the weather, kind of suits the fit. Some days, you get snowed in, but other than that, it cooperates.
Right. My other question to you is what kind of stocks do you typically like in the market right now? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I think
its market's on a good run, man. Last year was a tear, man.
I think valuations are way high right now.
Right.
Interest rates are really low, so stocks and bonds are alternates, and so folks are putting a lot of money into stocks, especially with the growth of index funds and all these things. I think we'll continue to see healthcare, energy, and finance do very well.
Gotcha.
Even banking, despite the low interest rates, I think we'll continue to see do very well over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, looking at the OECD and some of these other data sets, the federal government projects that those components of the market will continue to do well over the foreseeable future. So I think in terms of the market, that's where we're going to do well. But really, in terms of the business that we serve, the clients that we serve, we see all walks of life,
right?
Really kind of equally raising their hand, saying, "Hey, I have a particular problem that can be solved with software." And so I haven't really seen any sort of slowdown in terms of any given market.
Right. Well, I think you guys are in a unique situation too, because you guys are the future in a way. You know what I mean? Like,
very much so.
Because obviously more businesses want to be more efficient. Let's just be real. Who doesn't want to be more efficient? Who doesn't want to make a pipeline of customers come in faster and easier and be able to manage them and be able to manage your team better? And a lot of them are doing these tasks manually, or like you said, using a variety of software. They got 7 different software subscriptions they're using, and maybe building their own software is more efficient overall, cool. As well as maybe you could build a software that you could sell like you have with OnCourse, and so you never know, like it could turn into like your own internal product, but then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you could sell that to someone else that's in your same industry, right? I mean, it's just, that's probably what you've probably seen too, maybe across the board.
Very much so. And I think, look at the retail apocalypse, right? So
right.
Malls are dying, everything's kind of going
crazy. It's kind of crazy. What's going to go in the mall?
Right. And I think that's going to continue to occur. And so we see an increase actually in still continued e-commerce development, folks moving their businesses online, manufacturers, distributors going directly to the consumer.
Oh, yes.
That sort of trend just continuing until there's some sort of equilibrium in the market. And I still think we're far ways from that.
Yeah, and it's all on the phone now. Everything needs to be mobile friendly, right?
That's right. Yeah, very much so. Some folks have 2 mobile devices, right? So
yes,
you may have an iPad, you may have an Android phone or an iPhone, and then of course typically folks also have a laptop or a desktop. So it's multi-device now, right? So you have to be visible and consumable and accessible for your end consumer across whatever device set they're using.
Yeah. You don't know where they're going to be on. I know one thing. Jeff Bezos and Amazon knows how to suck money right out of your wallet. With this app, that app knows how to just suck money out of people's wallets, folks.
Right. 50% of all online purchases last year were on Amazon.
It's insane. And then also when you think about like AWS being the actual pipeline of the real business, it's fascinating.
Very much so.
And I could see them in the next couple of years getting into shipping. Obviously, they've already created almost a shipping fleet of people delivering these Amazon packages in vans now. But then also healthcare. I think Amazon will be selling you insurance. I think they will be in a line of competing in the insurance business because you know why? They know everything about you. They know everything. They can analyze your data and give you a rate based on what you've been buying and kind of analyze the kind of health and lifestyle you are better than the insurance companies can. And think about how much money's in that business. Look at Warren Buffett. He plays with that float. He calls it the float. Because basically people are giving him money, and he's gonna have to pay it out down the line with Geico. But imagine Amazon, what kind of float they would create with that, how many clients they already have using Prime. And then all of a sudden they can say, hey, you know what, today only, or, this year we're going to give you, health insurance. And
right.
Dirt cheap.
I know they've started dabbling in some of those things. And I've
it's fascinating.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them sort of expand into those additional markets.
So talk about a software or a business that was just selling books and now it's doing everything. You don't know where your software is going to take you. I like that line. You don't know where this software is going to take you. It might take you to the moon. Well, we're about to take you now onto our top 10, Ian. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Apple or Android?
Android.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram, even though I don't have either of those accounts.
Oh wow! You do LinkedIn? I think I saw you connected on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's pretty much it.
That's the business to business one right there. Chicken or steak?
Steak for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite cut of steak? Do you have a favorite type of steak you like?
Prime rib. I think it's got to be prime rib.
Yeah, prime rib. Yes. Laptop or a smartphone when you're working, when you're on the grind?
Laptop. Spotify
or Pandora?
Spotify, although I don't have a license for either of those. I need to, everybody in the office has Spotify. Yes. And I need to just pony up and get it.
Oh yeah. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. When you used to buy albums at the store, like back in the day, we used to buy albums on Tuesdays and you'd spend $30, to get 3 albums or whatever. And now you just listen to unlimited albums for $10 or whatever it is. And a hack to that, folks, too, is you can create a family plan. You can get it for like $14.99 and you can have, I think, 3 devices on it. So you could have maybe a team family plan. You never know. That could be a way of
look at that.
Getting a variety pack, get a couple different devices or users. Movies or video games?
Movies, old movies.
Like nice.
Pre-1960 films.
Nice. Okay. Cool. You like the nostalgic feeling of it.
Oh, yeah. I could watch like Casablanca like 50 times. It's great.
That's awesome. There's something about that, huh? Because it just didn't have – the storytelling was real then because now they have so many different things they can do with CGI and all these different things that just things are, not necessarily about the story. It's just about the graphics and about the feel and all the people and all the AI things and whatever they're doing.
Yeah, very much so. I think it requires really thoughtful writing.
Thoughtful writing. Yes, you're right. Yeah, because they didn't have the resources. So think about that, folks. Reading books or listening to books?
Reading books.
Stocks or real estate?
Stocks.
Oceans or lakes?
Oceans.
And when you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, why do I love being me? Why do I love being Ian Reynolds?
I think it's helping folks solve their custom software needs and really kind of stepping into new challenges on behalf of clients and just seeing new things and that's enjoy what you do. That's a gift.
That's a gift, man, because many people are not enjoying what they do, obviously. And it's mindset, because there's going to be tough days. I'm sure you've experienced them, right? Like,
oh yeah, very much so.
Not every day is like a great, the Goldilocks and the Seven Bears. It's like, there's going to be doomsdays, there's going to be down days.
That's correct. Yeah. You have to recognize that, I think you got to be humble about it, right? You got to recognize that you have a great opportunity that a lot of folks don't have in the world. And so be grateful and struggle against those challenges, and you'll get better as time goes on.
If you can flush the toilet and you can drink a glass of clean water, you're almost like 90% above some of the people in the world.
Oh yeah.
Like, as far as just that, being able to go to that, it's insane when you really think about that. Do you think you'll ever retire?
Probably not. The folks that I see that retire really kind of slow down.
Right. I just saw my dentist. Oh my God. I just saw my dentist and I felt the same thing. Instantly I saw him. I was like, dude, you look way older. It's only been like a couple years you retired. He just looks so much older. I swear to God. He was at the gym. He's a fit guy. You know what I mean? But like it's something about like your mind not having to be completely critical thinking, he's not in those teeth getting your dental work done, and something about it, right? Like there's something about like Warren Buffett and some of the greatest minds that are still working in their 80s and 90s.
Yeah, if given the opportunity, I don't think I'll retire.
Right. My dad always says, as long as my mind's there, I'm working. You know what I mean? It's when your mind's not there, then it might be a little different. If you had something there. How do you typically like to start your day? You have a routine?
Yeah, I've got a routine. I get up in the morning, grab a cup of coffee, and just sit down. And what I'll do is I'll review email. I won't respond.
Oh, okay.
Unless there's something urgently, but I will review all my email, review the communication that comes in.
Nice.
In the morning, and then kind of set like a mental priority. Usually I have a quick stand-up call with some of my VPs closer to 7:30.
Gotcha.
Just reviewing certain priorities for the week. And then after that, I'll attack that priority list that I've got that I've kind of outlined in the morning. And then I try to follow Grandma's rule. So Grandma's rule is eat your vegetables before you have your dessert. And I will do the difficult things either on behalf of the clients or for the business in the morning.
Gotcha.
And that actually lets the rest of my day be much less stressful.
Right.
And I don't have anything kind of lingering over my head. I just get it out of the way. And then I can focus on our clients and focus on internal operations. And
I've always noticed too, as an owner of business too, is like after you realize that like you get that thing done, it wasn't even that hard. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
You were putting this Mount Everest look on it, but it was like a little bunny hill when you really got to it.
I think that's right.
Get that shit done, folks. Get it done. That's the key thing. Like you said, in the morning, before you get into the afternoon, and after 2:00, we all get tired, a little more tired. If you've been up at 5, your body's you aren't as critically thinking. Now, some people would argue with you, but I agree with you, my man, is eat your veggies first. Eat the hard stuff done. Do you have a skill you want to master this year? Is there something you're working to say, I'm going to get better at this? I want to do this. It doesn't have to be, coding or anything like that or software. It could be something personal. It could.
Yeah. So, I used to follow very aggressively the sort of read 52 books a year.
Got you.
I think I kind of came short a little bit in 2019. And so it's, I think I've got to get back on track. I've been really pretty aggressive.
One a week.
And I've typically been very good about it, coming very, very close. Last year was a little off. So I've got to get back on that. And that, to me, it's kind of like an opportunity to reset. So I think just really, really being structured about that habit, and then, kind of making sure that I'm kind of back in that groove of really aggressively reading.
Right.
I think I'll be in a good place.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. Books are amazing. You're taking someone's whole life sometimes of knowledge. Like I'm reading the Bob Iger book about Disney. And that book is fascinating, man, because you're talking about he acquired not only Pixar, but he also acquired Star Wars and Marvel within like a couple years. And that shit changed Disney forever because Disney didn't have any hits going on. They didn't have hits going on. There was a lull. There was Cinderella and the Seven Dwarfs, and there was a lull there, folks, where they didn't have too many hits coming. They picked up Pixar they all of a sudden had hits, the movie studios and the merchandise and all that. And then next thing's Marvel. Boom. We already know what happened there. Next thing, Star Wars. Boom. I haven't got to the Star Wars part yet, but it's fascinating because how you're learning how this guy on a big level makes deals happen. You know what I mean? Right. And buys people companies. You know, he's sitting down with Steve Jobs and talking to him about the business and about Pixar and kind of how you get someone to sell your company to you on a huge level. It's fascinating book. So that's the biggest value I think of books is you just get this whole knowledge of 30 years in a book. You know, it's not like you have to spend the whole 30 years. You're getting to get that done maybe in a week, like my man. You know, some of us take a little longer, but a week's a great goal for a book. I mean, if you can get it done and you spend the time, it's definitely possible, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 15 minutes a day, you can do a lot.
Right. Yeah. Just get it done, put some more work into it. Be real for me. If you could sit down to a steak dinner with anyone in the world today, who would it be?
Well, you've mentioned Warren Buffett quite a lot. I think that would lend itself to a really interesting conversation. This is somebody who has a pretty encyclopedic knowledge about business, and really, I think has done a great deal in terms of the business community and educating investors, individuals.
Right.
So certainly, I'm going to have to borrow from some of your mentions and say definitely Warren Buffett.
Yeah, he's the man. And many people on the show, besides Elon Musk, they like Warren Buffett. You know, it's just fascinating what he's done for himself. And if you don't get a chance, folks, go check out Snowball, his book about his life and about his story. It's a long book, but you can get, you know, it's fascinating how someone snowballs or compiles investments and slowly they get bigger. And the next thing you know, it's more. I mean, next thing you know, he's got 10% of this and 10% of a whole company, folks. I mean, he's like, imagine the Apple acquisition he made recently in the last few years.
Right.
Done pretty well for him. Just think about that, you know, and let alone the dividend it's paying, let alone a $700-800 million dividend. It's gotten some appreciation, folks. So be real for me. If you could give our listeners one last thought, what would it be?
I think the thought is think about how technology over the next 3 to 5 years is going to disrupt your business, disrupt your life, and think about how you can get ahead of it. Think about how you can get ahead of not necessarily trends, right? Trends are going to come and go, but get ahead of the changes that are coming in your business and in your life, and really try to understand those things because you don't want to be disrupted. And the way to get ahead is really kind of speak with folks like Zibtek and see how we can help you solve problems in your business.
Absolutely. And you guys at zibtek.com, folks, they offer a free consultation. They got the estimator. There's lots of good resources on their website as well. I want to thank you, my man, for the show, man. I appreciate you, your energy. You got that entrepreneurial mindset, and I think you're in a business that's just going to continue to grow, you know, and also obviously provide for your customers. You know, you're not just selling them something, you're selling them something that's changing their business. So I really commend you for that. And I see you guys just in a pipeline, like we talked about, a business for the future. Folks, you've been hanging out with Ian Reynolds and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Real-Time Reputation. Do you have results and reputation that you need to uncover and find out in your business? Do you need more reviews and positive reviews to be showcased on your website? Well, now's the time. Check out Real-Time Reputation on Google, and let's get going. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today.